I'm going to talk about Factivo 2.0 today. That's the tool we've built as part of this challenge. Factivo is a SaaS tool. It's a multimodal versioning platform for factual information. And what we started out to do is basically see if journalism can become more adaptive, more structured, and more modular so that users can consume the news in the form that fits their needs the best. Right. So over these 9 months, we were able to do that. And, we were at some points, we were surprised by how good and how well it turned out. But the real sort of takeaway for us from this entire exercise of these 9 months were we were able to bust some real myths within our newsroom. And I'll talk about those today and take you through the product that we've built. Right. So the first myth really was that journalism can only exist in its original form. And, even though we're, a digital newsroom, a small newsroom, we're still very much embedded in sort of the core way of doing journalism as it's practiced around the world, right? So we are a very text-first company, and all our journalism is largely based on text articles. So we were really able to bust this myth, saying journalism can exist beyond the sort of the text article, move into other forms. So we were able to, we developed 12 formats, and they're essentially versions of the formats that you see on the screen right now. So short video, we were already able to do through Factivo 1.0. But what this branched out into further was we were able to do timelines, we were able to do decision trees, calculators, complexity sliders, mind maps. We have a format called the rabbit hole, which is like a treasure hunt through our entire archive. And we were also able to do something called a lo-fi news stream, which is like a radio program of our entire latest news section, our breaking news section. And you have the option of listening to it with lo-fi background, with lo-fi music background, so that when you're folding clothes, when you're doing the dishes, you have this sort of a background news playing if you want it, and the option is available. So each of these formats that we've developed, again, they're dynamically generated each time. They're based on verified news reporting, and they've been developed so that they have good, sort of very high fidelity to source. So this particular example here, gold, India is a gold saving country. We are very, very passionate about gold. And any sort of news story about gold prices in gold fluctuations, it causes panic waves throughout the country, which is why if you're able to use a news article about gold prices, which we publish quite often, and convert it into a dynamic calculator, it helps users immediately figure out, how much the gold can be priced at, how much it can be sold at if required, how much it can be bought at if required. The other format we've looked at is a decision tree. So again, this story is about a specific flood that happened, in the north of India very recently. And based on this original reportage, you're able to ask it questions like, how is it going to affect my travel plans? How is it going to affect me going forward? How is it going to affect my loved ones, my property, and all of that? And it takes you through a decision tree and gives you an answer at the end. Sorry. This is the lo-fi stream I was talking to you about. This is our latest feed. This is as of this morning. You're able to automate our entire breaking news feed and put it on an audio player that we've developed, which sort of continuously loops, connects these two stories. So the story at the beginning is connected to the next story and then plays like an ongoing radio show. And this is sort of, every story that gets added to it is sort of added to the playlist, and you have a player. The idea here now is to add this to our app as a separate section. So if people want to sort of consume it that way, we're going to be able to do that. The second myth is a news story once published is useless. And this was a huge one for us, where we are not a very volume heavy organization. We've always optimized for sort of long, deep reportage. And even our latest section is more about context, about getting sort of information from multiple places and putting it together. So this one was a huge one for us, busting this myth within our newsroom. So we've developed two formats, or rather three formats with that, where we vectorized our archive during this program, and we are able to semantically draw out contextual information into a present story with temporal precision. And that was a huge hurdle for us to cross, but we've been able to do that, which means any story that you see on scroll, you're able to get. So if you've done 20 stories on these floods, for example, this particular article page will have information of facts from all of those 20 stories, which you can consume. You can go up and down, you can interact with them, and it gives you a lot more added context. And that was the idea. The other thing is the rabbit hole format, which is, again, not only the 20 stories that I spoke about within this event cluster that we've dealt with, but we're also able to go into older stories about floods, or rather broader contextual information about the floods, by clicking on each of these plus buttons. So it's like a treasure hunt. You keep going one level lower, 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 and you have access to our entire archive for this particular sort of topic cluster. And that's the idea. For both these formats, the idea is, again, to give our loyal users the opportunity to really geek out on the journalism. And our users have sometimes asked us, saying, give us more, give us more access to your archives. And this is our sort of way of doing that. The third myth, which again, this happened sort of by coincidence, but the third myth is essentially that machines don't understand journalism's values and accuracy, of accuracy, accountability, and transparency. And these were two projects that I was doing side by side, which led very seamlessly into the product that we were building, which is, how do you make sure a model understands what a text article means, what a podcast means, what a short video means, right? So this is, it's an open source directory. It's a map at the moment, which basically tells you, which codifies the structural layer of journalism. So what is a format? What is a building block? What is a container? And it gives you a taxonomy that you can teach to models on how, when you are working with fluidity and moving content from one form to the other, it helps you give those instructions better. So this was the structural layer codification. And the other thing that we were able to do and test very deeply is the knowledge layer. So at the sentence level, what is the knowledge that each sentence carries within a story, right? So both of these projects have led directly into the product that we're building, and how fluidity can have more fidelity, right? And that led us to the broader question of how we should teach journalism to machines. And again, we've taken that with much care. So with deliberate design, by coding the intent of meaning, accountability, transparency, and attribution, and with care for how this encoding affects the people who use it. So we've been really grateful to the Journalism AI Challenge, LSC and Google, for allowing us to go way beyond what we had expected out of this project. So thank you. And that's us. And AI and scroll on.